Hi everyone, this is Callie Person for Simon Says Stamp. Today's simple card project features products from the Simon Says Stamp Card Kit of the Month for July 2025. I have a window shaker card that features a cityscape, so let's get started here by showing you a few contents from the card kit that I'll be using. The stamp set is called Through the Window, and it features a window image here with a few different sceneries for the backdrop. You can stamp those backdrops and color them, or you can use the patterned paper that's in this kit. What you'll get in the kit are 12 double-sided sheets from the La La Land Crafts In the City 6x6 inch paper pad. And as you can see, they're super colorful and beautiful cityscapes. The card kit also features the new window trio dies from Simon Says Stamp. There are 3 window styles to choose from, and I like that their size will work with any of the scenes from the stamp set should you choose to stamp and color those scenes. There are also 3 full-size sheets of cardstock that come with this kit. This one is Peacock, and I'm going to use it for my window. The window dies from the window trio set all open up and are interactive. I'm also going to turn this into a shaker window. So I'm using some acetate and some sequins here that are also included in the card kit. And there's also foam adhesive strips that will help you turn your window into a shaker card. This project being the third one that I've made using the card kit, I decided to do something a little bit different. Typically when windows open outward like this, I tend to think that I'm outside looking in. So for this particular card, I wanted to change up the windows a little bit by cutting off these windows that open up. And I think that makes it look more like you're inside looking out. So this is completely optional, but I just thought because I've already made 2 other cards using these window dies, I could make this one a little bit different and make the window a little bit more open so we could see more of the scenery through the window. To cut off those windows, I'm using a cutting mat from Spellbinders, and I'm just going to trim off those windows with a retractable knife from Tim Holtz and with the help of my T-ruler. Once I get those windows trimmed off, I'm going to turn this into a shaker. So I've taken a piece of acetate here that's in the kit, and I'm going to line it up with one side of the window. That way I don't have to do too much cutting, and I'm going to use a Sharpie here to trace the outline of that window onto the acetate so that I can trim it to size. Then I'll just use a pair of scissors and just fussy cut that so that I'm just inside that black outline that I just drew so that it'll fit behind this window die perfectly. Now I'll do the same thing with this piece of patterned paper. I had already done it off camera and forgot to hit record, so that's why I already have it pre-cut. But that's the little scene that I want in my window. So I've selected from the patterned paper pad what scene I wanted to use and selected that one. Now to adhere the acetate to the back of my window, I'm using some really thin 1/8 inch Terrific tape. That's double-sided tape. There's no dimension to this tape. I just want to adhere the acetate to the paper, and I find that simple double-sided adhesive works best for shaker cards. And I'm using my adhesive lifter tool here to pull up the ends of the backing on that adhesive so that I can peel back the backing to adhere my acetate. If you don't want to turn this into a shaker, that acetate still gives this window a cool effect with the reflective surface. I'm going to turn mine into a shaker card by using the 3D foam strips that are a part of this kit. I'm going to peel away the backing for each strip because that allows me to bend that foam strip so that I can meet the curve of the top of the window. And I'll just go all the way around, leaving no gaps. That way I can use some of that star confetti and some additional Starshine sequins in there as well to fill up the shaker window. And before I adhere that window frame on top, I just want to make sure there's a single layer of that confetti so that there isn't a lot of bulk in one area that would cause that confetti to get stuck. We want everything to slide around freely, so that looks great. So now I'm going to work on the background. I am using the Dotty Diamonds embossing folder, and I'm using some fog cardstock. I wanted something neutral for the background against this colorful window backdrop and also against that dark teal. Then I'll trim this panel down and cut off a 1/4 inch off each side. That way we have a nice mat on a white card base. And this just cleans up the edges for me. Now I'm going to use some white pigment ink here and just lightly go across the top of the embossed areas to enhance the look of those dots. So it just gives the paper a little bit more texture and a little bit more interest when you can see those dots better. And I'll dry that with a heat tool because I don't want that white pigment ink to rub off as I'm working. Once that's dry, I'm going to use the new Simon Says Stamp craft glue. This glue is similar to what we currently have in the craft tacky glue, but this is going to be a little bit runnier, but it's great because it still dries clear and matte. What I love is that it's a small size, it's 0.5 fluid ounces, and it's already got a fine tip on it, so it's super easy to use and its size is easy to grab. Once the embossed background is glued in place, I'll go ahead and attach my shaker window as well. Then I'll set this whole card panel aside to work on a sentiment. And I'm going to use some Princess cardstock from the Rainbow Splash collection because I really wanted to tie in some of that pink from the background through our window. And that's why I decided to choose this color. And I'm going to use the Missing You stamp from the Through the Window stamp set. And I'll stamp and emboss that with white embossing powder. I'm going to brush some anti-static powder over my cardstock before I stamp with clear embossing and watermark ink and stamp that. That way I don't get any stray powders in any areas around the Missing You sentiment, and then sprinkle on my white embossing powder. Now I know I've said this in the past, but if you've missed it, I like to keep that powder on the paper as I'm tapping a little bit to shimmy that powder around to make sure that it sticks to all surfaces of the sentiment. Even though the powder is fine, sometimes you'll find that some areas will lack some powder, so I like to tap it around a little bit before I shake off all of the powder. After I heat set it, I'm going to fussy cut because I don't have the dies. There are coordinating dies that you can buy separate from the card kit. I'm going to adhere the sentiment over the acetate, overhanging this window a little bit. So I'm going to use my Terrific tape again, that double-sided adhesive, on the acetate. I think this adhesive works the best when you're adhering any paper to acetate. So red line tape, Terrific tape, those are my favorite go-tos. So I'm going to adhere that, and then that finishes this particular card. But I also wanted to go over 2 other cards that I made using contents from the card kit for you so that you can see more inspiration. My first card uses ivory cardstock with another embossing folder in the back. That ivory cardstock is also a part of the card kit, and I ink blended over it with Scorched Timber Distress ink, which is also a part of the card kit. And I used another piece of patterned paper for the window and used a different window from that window trio die. And then my card here is more simple. I just ink blended over ivory cardstock, used the same window as that teal one, but left the windows on there and made all 3 of these shaker cards. So there's lots of different windows and shaker card styles that you can create with this kit. I hope you've enjoyed all the inspiration that I've shared. If you're interested in anything that I use, be sure to check out the links below. Everything will be linked for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching and spending a part of your day with me. I hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.